So this next section, I'm going to be going over some additional items such as our custom redirects, dynamic content, assets, and folders. So if we go over to marketing, the first thing I want to touch base on is our foldering system. So if we go ahead and just jump to folders, you'll notice that Pardot does have an uncategorized foldering system. So if we click on that, everyone's going to start out with the same foldering system of the uncategorized and all the subfolders underneath it. When we talk about folders within Pardot, it's really going to be different for business to business and for each marketing and sales professional. You can, there's a couple of different ways that you can set up your foldering system. I do have a master folder, and you could have a division name, the program name, the product name. You can have your master template. You can even do like system-wide automation rules, or you can have it going by global, and then under global, you could have your America team, your APAC team, your EMEA team, your headquarters team. So there are different ways that we can set up our foldering system. There are also people who do it by year. So you have 2015, 2016, and you could have quarters underneath it. So I do suggest within your team, you do talk about a foldering system. You do talk about a naming convention for your foldering system. That way everything is organized. There's not a one-size-fits-all foldering system within Pardot, so it is going to be unique to each of you. Just definitely, if you're working with other team members, come up with a system you all can agree with and implement that. So now let's talk about content within Pardot. And when I'm meaning content, I'm meaning more of our files. So if we go to content and then files, our file area is where we can upload our images for our landing pages or for our emails. It's where we can upload our PDFs if we want to track items. So one of the great things within Pardot is you want to know what your prospects are doing. You want to know what content they're consuming. So if you have white papers, if you have PDFs, definitely upload them within Pardot. So a couple ways you can upload is just by hitting the upload, or you can drag and drop multiple files. If your developer or your email developer or your landing page developer gives you a folder full of files, it's really awesome because you can take a full folder and drop it on here, which I'm not going to do in this case, but you can drop it on. And so files that Pardot can upload are PDFs, images, which includes pings and GIF images. You can have CSS. You can have CSS files within here, which makes it really nice for any of your styling for your landing pages. So if you're uploading files like PDFs, the thing that makes it great here is we can actually view reports, and we can see how many times people have downloaded this PDF, how many unique views have we had. If they are prospects within our system, we'll be able to see the prospects who have digested this content. So it makes Pardot really powerful when you are uploading your white papers or your case studies, etc. I would also suggest, if you do have a lot of content on your website, go ahead and upload all your PDFs within Pardot and then relink it. So how I would relink it is I would go to my content, my files, and then let's just say I have this PDF here. So I would go ahead and just take this link, and then I would have that on my website itself. So if I click on that, that's going to be my PDF that downloads. So they just put this link on your website. That way we can keep track. And if I go to view report, we can see that there has been one unique view, and it was me. So I went ahead and downloaded this PDF, but you'd be able to see your prospects who downloaded the PDF. So also within the content tab, we have two other areas here. For those of you who are on standard Pardot instance, you will not see this dynamic content, but I'm still going to go over dynamic content. Let's first go over the custom redirects. So custom redirects in Pardot will allow you to track any link on your website or third-party site, such as your Twitter page or your LinkedIn page, etc. Clicks on the link that you set up within here will show as an activity on your prospect's profile. So for instance, I went ahead and created this custom redirect to a prospect's journey map. So let's go ahead and open this up. You can see here that the destination goes over to a PowerPoint template that I have, and that I created this tracked URL so I can see the unique clicks and the total clicks that I had on this tracked URL. It also gives us the ability to create a short URL as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. So this was my destination URL. This is the link I wanted to track. I wanted to see how many people were going to click on this Pardot customer map template. And then I went ahead and created a Vanny URL that's called Journey Map. So we can also add completion actions, which again makes custom redirects super powerful. If my prospects are already within Pardot, I'm tracking that they clicked on this PowerPoint, and if I wanted to, I could go ahead and add them to a CRM campaign. I could adjust their score by adding an additional 3 points to them because they clicked on this PowerPoint. You can add multiple completion actions. You can add multiple completion actions on a custom redirect. One thing to note with custom redirects, the completion actions will not apply to people who aren't in Pardot. So let's just say I put this link up on Twitter. I'm still going to be able to see how many people clicked on the link, but if they're not in Pardot, if I don't have them cookied, they're not going to show up within the prospects who clicked. So if I open this up, we'll be able to see prospects who clicked on this. So again, if they're not within Pardot, they're not going to show up here. So custom redirects are great because they can be used for web page banners. They can be used for posting to your social networks, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Twitter. And it gives us the advantage of seeing who within Pardot is consuming our content on other platforms. And then the last area that we're going to go to within this section is one of my favorite things, and that's dynamic content. Again, this is something that I find is underutilized within Pardot, but it's super powerful. So let's jump to dynamic content. So with dynamic content, we can automatically personalize Pardot forms, landing pages, emails, and websites for each of our prospects. So we'll be able to set criteria to target prospects, and then we'll be able to personalize that content. So let's go ahead and hit add dynamic content. So let's just say I want to use this for my website or maybe for an email. And depending on the person's title, I want to show them a different image. So if I was going to use this for the sidebar of my blog on my website, and I want to target people who are with the VP title, I might want to say how to save your company money. But maybe for my tech titles, I might want to show an image that says how you can make your boss look like a superstar. So we can do different variations of content depending on the criteria that we set. So that's what makes it super powerful. So for right now, I'm just going to name this demo title. Default content. So this is the content that we're going to set for people who don't match a variation, or maybe who we don't have in our system yet. They'll end up getting this default content. So we have full use of our WYSIWYG editor here. So if this is going to be used in a landing page and an email, we can style it up and make it look pretty. So for right now, I'm just going to put, this is my default content. And again, you can add in images here. We can add in variable tags. So, if you did want to try to put in someone's first name or some other information within here, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So now we have to say, okay, how do we want to vary this content? And what are we going to base this off of? So if we go here, so we can choose here, how do we want to vary this? If I want to show different content based off a job title, I can hit job title here. So we can choose is or contains for the different type of variations. So I'm going to use contains because I really want to target VPs, whether they're SVPs, etc. But I'm just going to put VP for this first variation, and I'm going to add different variations. So I might also want to have a variation for text, and then another variation for maybe we're going to do admin, etc., etc. So what we can do within here, so we have our default content, but now I want to show something different if their job title contains VP. So here we can put how to save your business a ton of money. But for the text, we might want to put something that says how to make your director look like an all-star, or how to impress your director. And then maybe for admin, we could put something along the variation of save time and get more done with this service. So we can have 3 different messages depending on their titles. So you can see how this could be super powerful. So if I went ahead and hit save, I can now use this dynamic content in 2 different ways. I can automatically add it into my landing pages or into my emails using the little lightning icon that stands for dynamic content. Or if I wanted to embed this on my website, I could go ahead and view the embed code, and I could grab this JavaScript and I could place it to wherever I wanted that banner to show up. So if I wanted it in the sidebar of my web page, I could put it into the sidebar of my web page. We also have an area over here that's testing tools. You can use this, so if you wanted to see what this looked like on your web page, it will set a temporary cookie for each of the different variations, so you could go to your web page and see what it looks like on there. If we were going to use this variation in an email template, let me just jump in to show you what that looks like real quick. So I'm going to put this in my monthly newsletter. And say I want this to change, and I want my dynamic content to come up here. So what I would do is I'm going to drop down, and we'll see this little lightning icon. Here's my demo, and so I could see here's my default content, or if I wanted to go back and see the different variations, I could look at the variations here. And I'm going to hit OK. So if we look at the preview and we enable the prospect preview, we can see here that it's showing me how to save your business a ton of money. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of here. So a couple of ideas to use dynamic content. It can be used for both prospect and client communications. Let's just say a monthly newsletter, a webinar blast, or other marketing related emails. For example, a newsletter, you can display upcoming events based on a recipient's location. A webinar email sent to a list of prospects can serve up beginner, immediate, or advanced topic based on the prospect's score or interest. We can also use it to personalize your website experience. So, for instance, if you know what industry they're in, you can display a series of client logos from the same industry on your homepage instead of a random assortment. We can also enhance our landing pages. You can use it above or below your form on a landing page, in the body content, for images and more. Again, you really want to know about your prospects to create a landing page that's as tailored to their individual situation as possible. Another great thing with dynamic content is you can use dynamic content in a form's thank you page. So that allows you to redirect prospects to unique content after a form submission based on the value they submit in the form field. So again, there's a lot of different ways we can use dynamic content.